Chaidaga 14th Nagaland Legislative Assembly 6th Session Day Advisor for School Education and SCERT Dr. Kekrihole Yomebra Nagaland Assembly ke address kura homoy key issues aro initiatives lakaupar highlight kurishe. Yomebra janaishi ki state de 1925 schools thakade 157 schools de zero enrollment ase 1123 schools to under low enrollment category C laga pitor de ase. Yome kushigi state de 1,31,613 students aro 18,140 teachers ase kote teacher student ratio do 1 teacher per 7.25 students ase. Yomebra janaishi efficiency improve kuribole karne 1,650 students ke transfer kuri dishe. 120 schools ke closed, merged, na hoile bi downgrade kuri dishe. Yome kushi ki sarkar bra teacher rationalization to prioritize kuri ase aro Smile app chuntu real time geofencing technology bra equipped ase itu bra teachers khan laga attendance monitor kuribo. IB details saisabo.
We know that we have school systems spread into the nook and corner of the state. As far as 2024 data is concerned, we have 1,925 schools which are scattered all over Nagaland. We had categorized our schools into A, B, C, D. A with more than 75 students enrollment, B with 50 to what we call 74 students. C category is 1 student to 25 students, and therefore we have classified that again into 3 categories, C1, C2, C3. C1 being 1 student to 10 students, C2 being 11 to 20 students, and C3 being 21 to 25 students. And we realized that of the overall schools, the total number of schools having C category enrollment is 1,123. Outrightly, we find that in the D category, which is zero enrollment, we have 157 schools with zero enrollment. Why are there no students in our 157 schools? That is because we have teachers, but we have no students. Number 2, we have no teachers, and therefore we have no students. The progress which we are striving today is to rationalize our teachers. And this rationalization process is a very simple arithmetic. We pull out the surplus teachers from a particular school which is congested, infested with excess teacher, and put them where they are required. So for us, 2025 marks the year of Census India. Around this time of the year, next year, we will have the provisional data for census. And for us, we need to operate on census. And today, we are also inheriting a certain structure where we are having difficulty because we as India, as a welfare state, our job is to put what we call, as a welfare state, it is our job. The other question is, are we financially, our schools, are we actually profiting or are we not? Today, if we look at the overall number of teachers and students which are dispersed, we know that we have 131,613 students, and we have 18,140 teachers. This is an average of 1 teacher is available for every 7.25 students. And this, I would also like to bring to the notice of the House that since we have heard a lot from a particular district, from a particular region, it is not a justification or a clarification. But what we have done is that under 28 Koridang, we have 8 private schools and 19 schools compared to Along Taki, 6 private schools and 38 government schools. Together in Along Taki, we have 27 schools, whereas in Along Taki, we have 42. Teachers, private, we have 119 in private schools in Koridang, 54 in Along Taki. We have 247 government teachers in Koridang, 279 in Along Taki. All together, we have 366 teachers in Koridang and 333 in Along Taki. That is both private and public schools combined. Students, we have 1,003 in Koridang, 463 in Along Taki. We have 870 government school students in Koridang, 1,596 students in government schools in Along Taki. Altogether, we have 1,873 government and private students in Koridang, whereas we have 2,059 private and government schools in Along Taki. the average of Koridang, the teacher-student ratio is the lowest in the state. Every teacher is available for 3.5 students. If you look at the overall number of dispersion of teachers and students in the various districts, the highest is in Mon. We have one teacher is available for every 13.9 of our students, whereas the lowest is in Mokuchun. One teacher is available for every 4.18 of our students. You look at the student-teacher school student ratio. It's 52 for every 52 students go to every one school in Mokchun, whereas in the private sector, 240 students goes to every private institution. If you look at the student-teacher ratio, in government schools, it is one teacher for 4.5, and as I said, in private school, it is one teacher for 14.3 students. This gives us an example of how the private sector and the government sector are playing in the role of educating and developing our human resources in the state. We also must acknowledge that we have divided all our schools based on linguistic area. So out of the 1,925, 153 falls under the category of urban. Near Rosatory Higher Secondary School, there is a primary school. Of course, the land belongs to Kohima village. It is within the Angami jurisdiction, but we cannot call that as an Angami exclusive linguistic area. So today I would like to remind the House that we have positions in place in terms of staffing pattern. For every primary school, we are supposed to give 7 teachers. We are trying our best to provide the minimum so that whether you are in this urban or rural area, whether you are from this big or small village, or in the urban or in the rural, whatever, we are trying to give the minimum staffing pattern so that the public begin to trust us and bring our children back to our school. The most expensive school, or rather one of the most expensive schools, which the government of Nagaland is also spearheading a lot in terms of giving financial help, is the Sainik School in Pungwa. This year, their admission fee has gone up to 1,61,544 per student. If you look at the performance of our government's expenditure, which is both through central schemes as well as the state expenditure, we are spending about 1,93 students for rupees for all our students. So the per capita, expenditure on our students are very, very high. So today, what we are envisioning is to bring back our students from the private institutions back to our institutions, because rural poverty, household indebtedness, all these are linked to how every household is spending their expenditure on educating our children. So, Honorable Sir, allow me to also mention that we have difficulty in realigning our teachers because things are not clear, and without census we cannot operate. I am not here to justify, but I would also like to mention about the case of GMS Kensa. It is a GMS school. Last year the enrollment was 65, and we were able to pull out some teachers and redistribute. So naturally there were some protests, but we have 33 students, teachers there. So the capita is almost one teacher is available for every 2 students. I take the case of GHS Namentong. Here we had pulled out 2 graduate teachers because they are outrightly accessed, and I am to assure the honorable member that we have only one math teacher just now. Shortly, NPSC is under progress. We have put 138 science and math teacher for recruitment, out of which 66 are math teacher. So as soon as the results is out, which we are expecting by the end of this month, we will be very glad to put 1 teacher, because definitely JHS Momentum requires 1 more graduate teacher. In 1991, Honorable Sir, the census for Longland district was 67,000. In 2001, the census went up to 1,21,000, which implies in 10 years, 53,000 people were added to Longland district. In 2011, Honorable Sir, the census data for Longland district was 50,484, which implies that between 2001 and 2011, 71,097 were unaccounted. They just disappeared. So between 1991 to 2011, which is after 20 years after 1991 census, 17,219 people disappeared from Longland. I bring this to the House notice because Longland, Ifiri, and Parent District together combined their census was 3,13,779, and whereas 10 years later in 2001, the census fell down to 2.19 lakh, which means around 97,000 persons were missing. These three places which I mentioned, they got their districts on January 2004, which implies that once they got their census right, they got their district. After they got their district, there was no necessary attempt to actually inflate their population, and therefore perhaps it came down to a very normal situation. We are unable to put students rationalization, teachers rationalization, because we need data. And today our department is very proud that we are able to clean up our data. We are able to find out how our children are performing. Not only our children, we are able to find out where our children are going. I take the particular case of Mokchung as an example again. Between 2022 to 24, 3 years, 6 students took migration certificate from our government schools after passing out class 10, which means about 6 of them are going for higher studies from our educational system, our government institution. Between the same year, from class 12, 41 took admission and went to other parts of the state, which means their migration certificate is necessary because they need to go outside the state. This gives us a pattern of how students are there in our government institution. 10 years data till last year, we have the data for the number of students who could not pass matriculation in Mokchung district. 506, unfortunately, could not be within our system. At such tender young age, they had to. So we know exactly where these 506 children are. It is very sad, but today we have to go down and pick up the following ones. So today the role of developing our human resources does not just imply bringing children to our school system, but also to look after our children and give them vocational training through all the departments which are giving all these facilities so that we are able to take care of our resources. I want to take the example of what we call a particular EBRC block. 2024, Stangratsa Government High School, 5 students passed matriculation. Longjang Government High School, 9 students passed HSLC. Mokonchuget 10, Kubulong 2, and Longchem 1. Altogether, 17 students passed matriculation from these 5 combined high schools which are near to each other. The logic here is we are spending more than 200 teachers for the 17 students, and in 1 year, we are able to produce 17 students. So the idea that a school is doing very well, that it is getting 100% matriculation result, we should not be misled with this. And today, I must say that the number of students who are entering our system are also there, we need to promote, but the number of schools which are there are too much. Schools which are there are too much. So today, under the honorable leadership of our CM, through the SLEC held on October 27 last year, we had literally closed down 120 schools. Through outright closure, which is 17 schools, through amalgamation or merger of schools, or through downgradation of schools. So this is allowing us to facilitate all this rationalization process. We recently transferred 1,650 teachers, and all these are accounted for. 1,073 are outrightly surplus teachers who are accessed in the schools. Out of these, 218 comes from the 210 schools which we had closed during the SLEC. And out of these, we had 58 math and science teachers who had to be redistributed. A math teacher, a graduate math teacher is posted in a primary school. That is unnecessary. We pull him out or her and give them to a middle school or a high school because we have shortage of math and science teacher. And out of the 1,650 teachers, 223, we entertained the desired results of our legislature friends, and we were able to help facilitate the transfer and posting. Teachers, I had to defend my teachers. Many of them will never be able to go back to school again because they are carrying heavy diseases, heavy sicknesses. Then there are aged care, aging parents to take care of. We took into account all this and we entertained 78 which were coming from public and private through different organizations which were. So the 1650 students, teachers, which we had recently transferred, the Honorable Cabinet has been very kind to us. It has given us time to reflect, and we did not want to, and we know that it was also at a very crucial time because of the 40,469 plus 10 and 11 students were given exam. It came out during that time. 23,271 of our students are given matriculation. In no way, we do not want the Students' Union to disturb our schools, our examinations which were going on. As of today, out of the 1650, 1,192 had joined their new place of posting. 458 are yet to join. We had received 449 representation asking that these individuals will not be should or be reconsidered. So paramount to the Cabinet's recommendation, we are sitting over this month. So today what I want to bring to the notice of all of us is we are in the process of reforming. There are rules in place. We are not breaking any rules. We are using the spectacular systems which were put in place through the NCRT, through the best practices. That is the staffing pattern for every school. It is the desire of the School Education Department, represented by our Honorable Chief Minister, who is the Minister in charge, that our legislators, our public organizations, you demand good teachers. You demand teachers in your schools. You make sure that our children are not dropouts. You make sure that people who are moving to other parts in place of migration in terms of urban areas, let them come back to their village and let them finish their schools in their school in the village. So it is my humble appeal that and I take this great opportunity because this recent order on rationalization, it has opened the Pandora's box. But this Pandora's box, I think it's an opportunity for us to understand that we need to publicly work together, that we all need to put our best efforts so that we bring back the glory of our, what do we call, under the Commonwealth system, New Zealand, Australia, which today produces some of the best schools in the world. We all inherited the Commonwealth system. Today, most of our schools are under government and public, but all these advanced countries, 80% of their schools are still government schools, and they are the best in the world. Today, I also want to bring to the, what we call, notice of our August House that about 800 are under government sector, private sector. About 2,000 of our schools are under government, which includes the state of Nagaland as well as some central schools. Today, we are all, as a federal state and as a democratic state, both private and public, they have opportunity to participate in the task of providing school education to our system. But I also want to make an appeal to this August House that there are no, and I repeat, there are no mission schools in Nagaland. And I said this because particularly in many villages, and I request all our honorable members to discuss with public leaders, to discuss with civil society, or to that extent even church bodies. The ruckus of opening school, like, I'm sorry to mention this, but like some kind of village shop, this has literally killed our school system. So today, the private sector also, they cannot meaningfully grow. Our government schools also cannot meaningfully grow. And I'm hearing lots of reports, especially by some religious organizations opening schools. They go back to their church, and I will not like to use the word extort, but they definitely exude and extol their church members to contribute money so that they can provide the salary of their teachers or build new buildings. Today, if you look at the overall, we have given provisional recognition to all our private schools in Nagaland, but very soon, with the cooperation of this government, we are going to take stringent matters into the law where we can no longer have non-quality schools operating in every nook and corner, which includes our government schools. So thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I would like to say that definitely with our SMILE application, I can guarantee the house that this is the best in the world. We have to answer the Honorable Chimbamo's agitation. The Smile app is a real-time data stamp. So whether you have internet connection or not, it will represent real-time data stamping system. We are right now putting a geofencing of 25 meters from the school. Now, if they do not take attendance, definitely we are now able to digitally monitor the attendance of our teachers. So I can say that for a technically challenged state like ours, we are able to monitor all this. And this, once we put in place, this will be another feather in our cap in alignment with our Honorable Governor's speech. Thank you so much, sir.
Ready to launch your dream career? At Eagle Crest Training Academy and Consultancy, we offer expert training in hospitality, aviation, and cruise line. 100% job placement assistance in India and overseas, expert faculty and hands-on training, endless career opportunities worldwide. Your journey to success starts here.